It's the market forces that will decide if it will move up or if it will actually move down. You have DD Meridian Prime. After the IPO, it really didn't go up as much yet as of now. But if you look back at the IPOs from last year, you have Merimart, which at the start of the IPO, it zoomed up already, then consolidated a bit, then started to zoom up again. Please remember, hindi lahat ng IPOs ganyan. People always think kasi basta one yung IPO, bilidan natin kasi malaki yung pwedeng kitain. It doesn't necessarily go that way also. I had a lot of questions about paano sumali sa IPO, paano mag-invest sa IPO, okay ba mag-invest sa IPO, ano ba magandang pag-investan mo, what is a good IPO. So in this video, I want to dedicate this to a lot of people who want to enter into IPOs. So this will be like an IPO primer. Should you actually invest in IPOs? What are IPOs? What are the advantages of entering IPOs? Are IPOs cheap? Should you buy every IPO that comes your way? And everything else that you need to know about IPOs. If you have been watching my channel for quite some time already, you might have heard this already, or you might know what an IPO is. So this video may not be for you, but since I will be sharing bits and pieces also and snippets of my journey and things that I've learned, experiences also in IPOs, I do hope that there will be some aha moments that kahit matagal na kayo nag-invest sa stock market or you've watched my videos already for quite some time, that you get something off of this. So first things first, IPO, Initial Public Offering, meaning this is the first time a company na dati private company siya. So people always think no, pag IPO, ibig sabihin nun bago pa lang siya. Not necessarily. It could be a 100-year-old company, could be a 10-year-old company. The rules for IPOs in the Philippines are different from the rules of IPOs abroad. So they have differences in terms of yung earnings, yung size, etc. But for this video, I just want to focus on IPOs in the Philippines. You say a company goes public when everyone that's not connected to the company or everyone that's not offered shares into, they get to be a part of the company as well. It's the very, very first time that the public gets to have a chance, a shot to be able to become a shareholder, which I think democratizes everything. An IPO allows people na walang connection sa company with just a very, very small amount of capital to become a part owner. People always look at just the number, the ticker, yung size ng IPO, which are all good, but you always have to go back to the inherent reason kung bakit may IPO. Private company na yun, they want to raise funds for whatever reason that they may use the money for. It could be for expansion, for them to be able to pay off debt, or it could be also to reward those early investors that want also already to exit or use their money for another reason whatsoever. Kung ikaw nagsimula nun, hindi mo siya magagawa kasi sobrang laking capital na kailangan or sobrang laking expertise na kailangan. So think about it this way. I'm invested in Tesla and it's one of my favorite holdings. I'm invested in Facebook, but I don't think I can create my own website that will beat Facebook. So essentially, you buying companies that go public is yung adage na if you can't beat them, join them. So you always have to remember that every time you invest in the stock market, every time you participate in an IPO, iniisip mo lagi, bumibili ka ng shares ng company. Of course, the reason why you want to put your money in is because you want to get a profit. There's nothing wrong with that. However, genuine question you need to ask yourself is, gusto mo ba talaga yung company? That's why you want to participate in it. When you ask that question, that's where more questions will come into the fray because it doesn't make sense kung maglalagay ka ng pera kung di mo naintindihan yung company or nakikisabay ka lang kasi uso siya. That's the best way to lose money. And if you have been following my videos for crypto or other US stocks, it's always a game of conviction. The money that you will make will be directly proportionate to the amount of conviction that you place into it. Now, people always will ask this, umaakyat ba lagi yung stock during an IPO? The answer to that will always depend on what duration you are looking at. Meaning, are you just looking at it from an intraday perspective, meaning pagkalabas, will it pump in the next few hours? Or are you looking at it that, after the IPO, how will it perform over the next few days? Or are you looking at it from a longer term perspective? No one knows how IPOs will perform no matter what kind of analysis people will put. Every time na linabas mo yan sa market, it's fair game. It's the market forces that will decide if it will move up or if it will actually move down. You have DD Meridian Prime. After the IPO, it really didn't go up as much yet as of now. But if you look back at the IPOs from last year, you have Merimart, which at the start of the IPO, it zoomed up already. then consolidated a bit, then started to zoom up again. Please remember, hindi lahat ng IPOs ganyan. People always think kasi basta one yung IPO, bilidan natin kasi malaki yung pwedeng kitain. It doesn't necessarily go that way also. You could benchmark also a REIT as a type of listing, although it's a REIT. If you look at a REIT, ganun din. When it went out into the market, it dipped for a bit, built a base, then after built a base, steady upward movement, which is very, very consistent and which is very, very good, especially for people who love dividends but also love capital appreciation. Another example from last year, you have Converge. Converge, when it went out, boom, it dipped a bit. Then as it started to dip a bit, it also started to build the base. Then at some point late last year, it started to move up. If you look at it right now, it's much higher than where it was before. Again, also, if you look at other IPOs, you can look at Axelum. It did not do so well. You can also look at All Home. It consolidated a bit, then it started to drop when markets last March 2020 also started to drop as well. KPPI also, very, very interesting. When it went out into an IPO, zoomed up, then massive move up, then it went up massively also. Then after its large move up, then we saw it also start to drop down massively as well. We can't really use technical analysis because as you all know, technical analysis are past prices plotted into charts. If it's just listing, wala pa siyang past prices, di mo pa talaga siya magagamit. When it starts to list, maybe you can use a 15-minute candle, maybe you can use a 1-hour candle. However, please remember, technical analysis, past prices plotted into charts. Since wala pa siya masyadong past prices, then whatever 15-minute, 1-hour candle that you're using, wala pang established na range, wala pang established na trend, hindi pa rin kayo matutulungan ng malalaking indicators. So my style also in that is I wait at least for the 20-day moving average also to come out, or I wait also for me to be able to develop a definite support and resistance so that at least I know where the direction is. A lot of people are also asking, mura ba yung IPO na yan o hindi? I believe that at the point where they are selling it and you are looking at it at present time, all IPOs are always sold at a premium. Walang founder, walang may-ari ng kumpanya na pinagtrabahuan niya yung business niya for 10, 15, or 20 years that will ever sell their company cheap or will ever sell a company at break-even. Kasi wala ka naman dun eh. When they spend blood, sweat, and tears para palakihin yung company nung walang naniniwala sa kanila. Ngayon, malaki na yung company. It's earning a lot. It's very, very stable. It's very, very mature. Tapos ngayon ka palang papasok as an investor. Why will I sell it to you at break-even? Essentially, from a business perspective, all IPOs, kung eto man yung value ng company ngayon, pag binenta nila during IPO, it will always be higher. For sure yun. Every time you buy something during an IPO, it's always bought at a premium looking at today's price. Now, bakit ko bibilhin yan kung mahal pala talaga siya? That's where you need to do your research. Why? You need to do your research on ano yung prospects ng company for the future. Gaano ba kaganda yung company, not for 2021 anymore, but for years after. Because if the company's growth trajectory is amazing, then pag binili mo ng 2021, baka sobrang mura na niya. There are certain things that happens that may deter companies that things will go to their plan. COVID could happen, competitors could arise, or may mga government regulations that will not help their company. Every entrepreneur, every CEO, they're always optimistic about their business. It's your responsibility as an investor to figure out, is this an investment that will work for me? Is this an investment that, given that ito yung plano nila, ito yung risk involved, ano sa tingin ko yung possible na mangyayari? Based on the risk that's there, will me buying the company today be worth the risk na hindi naman baka matalo sila ng competitor nila, hindi nila makukuha yung 10,000 stores na yan eh. If you think that hindi nila makukuha yung 10,000 stores na yan and it doesn't look worth it to buy it at this price, then you shouldn't be buying it. What I'm showing you in this video are skill sets na pwede nyo i-replicate kahit matapos tong mga IPOs na to. Because that's what I want eh. I want you not just to just buy it because it's a stock tip or just because pinag-uusapan dito. I want you to build the right skills that it's templatable. Paano ka mag-a-avail via IPO? So, all of us, we are under the retail category. So, normally, kung may IPO yan, majority of the proceeds will go to institutions. Companies like to give it to institutions because konti lang kausap nila, konting accounts lang, malaki kagad. Whereas retailers, hundreds of thousands or millions yung magpa-participate sa IPO, ilan yung pa-process nila na accounts tapos maliliit lang. So there's two ways for you to be able to participate. One is if your capital is lower, you just go straight to PSE. I think it's called PSE Easy. If your capital is around 100,000 pesos, you can fill up, sign up with them. They will help facilitate for you to be able to buy when the company starts to list in the stock exchange. The second way is you go to your trading participants or aka your online brokers. So I made videos about that. It's flashing right here on how you can open an account with your broker. Pero essentially, kailangan mo ng online broker para makapag-open ka, para makapag-invest ka. Then, dun sa online broker na yun, normally yan, meron yan, may nagpa-pop up na yan days before the IPO that if you want to subscribe to it. And then you just have to follow the directions that they will give. And it's that straightforward lang. Pag wala ka pang broker ngayon, mag-open ka na so that by the time na pwede na, you already have that broker in place and you just have to fund your account and then it would be relatively easier. Kaya sa pagdating ng listing or pagdating ng offering period, dun ka palang papasok. People always think na pag piso yung IPO, mura na siya. Pag 50 yung IPO, mahal na siya. Please remember, it doesn't really work that way. Pwede kasing maging piso yung stock price nun, pero sobrang daming shares nakalabas. Pwede kasing 50 yung stock na IPO or 100 or 1,000 pero konti yung shares na nakalabas. Don't just base the decision kung mura siya or mahal just because mababa yung stock price. There are other factors involved every time you analyze the stock. So eto pa, I've made videos about it. It's called the price to earnings ratio or the price to book ratio, or you do a deep dive on fundamental analysis to check kung mura ba talaga siya at that particular price. Because when you look at the PE ratio, okay, piso yung stock nito pero PE ratio niya is 70. The higher the PE ratio, the more expensive it is. Ganun din, ito 250 yung stock pero PE ratio niya 20. Baka mas mura to. The lower the PE ratio, the cheaper it is as well. But please remember, the PE ratio is not an all-consuming factor na yun lang yung pagdidesisyonan nyo. I've seen stocks that yung PE ratio nila mataas, pero kahit mataas yung PE ratio nila, they've still zoomed higher. So, hindi lang yun yung pwedeng determinant nyo whether you should buy it or not. Look at gano'ng kalaki yung cash ng company. Look at the track record. Gano'ng kaganda yung earnings nila. You want the sales to be increasing. You want the net income to be increasing. You want also as much as possible the debt to be low. Tingnan mo, look at the management team. Are these people you can trust? Are these people that alam mo, pag dinagay mo yung pera mo doon, they will take good care of it and they will run the company well. Because above and beyond the numbers is that you are investing in the people who run the company. Also, above and beyond sa yung proceeds, are they gonna use it for expansion? Will it just be an exit mechanism for early investors? Or is it just basically them paying off debt? So there, kung meron man akong hindi na-cover, lagay nyo lang sa comment section below and I'll try to make a video on top of that. Or just DM me via Patreon. I reply to every message there, or via Instagram. I reply to 10 to 20 messages via Instagram also. Spend the time to learn. Lalo na yung crypto markets, there's so much movement and volatility even on a weekend that if you want to practice, you want to hone your skills and you want to get better. So study, but also execute during this weekend. And I'm excited, IPOs like this are opportunities for common people, retailers like us to also have a piece of certain companies na malalaki, parts of the economy. And I do realize not everyone can become entrepreneurs because of the skill required for it, the people management side of it, and also the capital requirements for it. But all of us, because the stock market has democratized, hindi mo kailangan maging sobrang yaman para magsimula mag-invest sa stock market, pwede tayo mag-invest. So that's it for now. Marvingermo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.